My name's Elizabeth Garib. I was born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama, only daughter of Don and Jane Garib. I graduated from SMU in Dallas in 1997. Michael and I have been married since 2001, and we live in Vestavia Hills in Liberty Park with our 3 dogs, Bree, Stilton, and Winston.
Also, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, born and raised. Brief time away from here. I matriculated to Alabama to start with. I was born into an Alabama family, a University of Alabama family, but I was the first person in my family to actually attend the University of Alabama.
The relationship between the University of Alabama and Coca-Cola could be better described as a historic partnership that has spanned for over 60 years. I can remember as a kid in Augusta, Georgia, watching the Bear Bryant show every Sunday in the fall, where that iconic slogan was created, "A great pair says the bear," describing the relationship between Golden Flake, Coca-Cola, and the University of Alabama. But this partnership really goes beyond athletics. Through the years, Alabama and Coke have partnered numerous times for academic programs like the First Generation Scholarship Program, which at that time was the very first one in the United States. When my college football career ended after 2 years at Georgia Tech, I needed to find a job to pay for school. And literally, I walked across the downtown connector from the Tech campus to the former home of the Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling Company and got a part-time job counting the change that came out of the vending machines in and around the city of Atlanta. And that was 45 years ago. And it's been an amazing journey where my wife Terry and I have been blessed many times through the personal and professional relationships that we developed, which certainly includes our many friends here at the University of Alabama.
My name is Jim Skinner. I was born in Bethesda, Maryland at the Naval Hospital, the son of an enlisted Marine. Over the next 10 years, I moved about 10 times. We ended up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where I was lucky enough to go to high school all 4 years. After high school, I went to the University of Mississippi and graduated there in 1981 with a general business degree. I was commissioned in the Marine Corps on the same day and went to Quantico, Virginia. After Quantico, we went down to Pensacola, Florida, where I was in flight school. I was in the Marine Corps until 1990, and I went to work for FedEx. I worked for FedEx for 29 years, flying a multitude of different types of aircraft. I met Stacy 13 years ago on an airplane going to Vegas. I was living in Memphis at the time, and I moved to Tuscaloosa to be closer to her and her boys. We were married 10 years ago, and we have a blended family that includes 5 boys and 7 grandchildren.
My name is Stacy Parker. I was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, grew up in Gordo, attended elementary and high school at Pickens Academy in Carrollton. In 1986, I moved to Tuscaloosa to attend the University of Alabama, where I received an undergraduate in elementary education and a master's in early childhood education. I'm the proud mom of 3 boys, John Austin, Andrew, and Anthony Parker, 2 of which have already graduated from University of Alabama, and I have a sophomore that's enrolled in the business school at Alabama.
My name is Andy Edson. I was born in Kingsport, Tennessee. Pretty much lived there for 47 years, except for the 4 years I spent here in Tuscaloosa. Graduated from UA in 1997, and from there went into public accounting, bounced around different industries, and then about 15 years ago I got into the coal industry, where I remain today. Beginning in January of this year, I became Chief Executive Officer of Alpha Metallurgical Resources, which is headquartered there in the Tri-Cities in Northeast Tennessee.
I am Amanda Edson, and I grew up in a small town called Gate City, Virginia. And I met Andy on a blind date when I was 18 years old. And we've been married for 25 years. And he converted me over to cheering for Alabama. I was a Virginia Tech fan. So we have 2 girls, a senior here at Alabama, Emma Edson, and Claire is a senior in high school.
My name is Cortez Fowler, and I started the business after I met some people after Hurricane Frederick that hit Alabama. and stayed in touch with those people over the years. And when I say people, they were insurance adjusters. And in 1989, I had an opportunity to go to Hurricane Hugo in South Carolina. I went up there and did well, and also learned the ins and outs of the business. And from there, as we progressed, trust in the Lord and Court, Chris and Craig, our three sons, came into the business when they graduated from college. And that's where we are today.
My name is Joanne Fowler, and we started the business in 1989 when, after Cortez had gone up to Hugo, we decided that that was a new way for us to go in our business. He had been a general contractor and I had been in accounting, and it just seemed like God had opened the doors for us, and we were ready to go that way. And so we just started doing it. It was just a small company, just really the two of us. And then when the kids, the boys, they were young, but they were in high school, summer vacations, they'd just come. And summer vacations, we went all over the country working claims, but having a good time. We were always together. It was fun, and we really enjoyed it.
I'm Mark Hickman.
And I'm John Hickman.
And we are here tonight, along with our sister, Stacy Parker, representing our parents, Patsy and Denny. Our father, Denny Hickman, is a man of few words when the subject is trivial. But when the topic turns to global markets, industry trends, aviation history, or, most importantly, his family, conversations take a steep turn, like riding as a co-pilot in the cockpits of one of his warbirds. He is fiercely determined and laser-focused. Our family and friends describe Denny as an individual who demands the very best from himself and everyone around him. Denny and Patsy share the same core values as the University of Alabama and our athletic programs. Patsy is an extraordinary matriarch. She is the heartbeat of her beloved family, always inspiring and encouraging their dreams and accomplishments. She never hesitates to add her perspective or suggest a change in a personal life plan.
Our family company has humble roots from the Depression days. Patsy and Denny Hickman have been incredibly proud to be a part of West Alabama's growth and are pleased the three of us and our children have followed in their footsteps. Their long-standing investment in the Tide's academic and athletic programs speak with a loud voice to their priorities.
I had several people over my path of life to influence, but I think my dad probably stands heads and shoulders above everyone else. He has always pushed me, persuaded me to set personal and career goals, to be an independent thinker and doer, and he has inspired me to push my boys to shoot for the stars.
As diverse as my life has been and as many different periods of my life that I've had a ton of really, really fine mentors throughout my life, but I actually have to say that right now in this phase of my life, my biggest mentor and the person that I look up to the most is Stacy's dad, Denny Hickman. He's just an incredible man, very, very giving, very few words, but once you get him to start talking about something that he enjoys, he's just a phenomenal man. He's probably the greatest man I've ever met.
I'm David Carroll. I'm General Counsel for Hunt Refining Company. I've been with the company as an employee 25 years now, or almost 25 years. H.L. Hunt, who was our founder, discovered oil in Alabama in 1941. First oil well in Alabama is down near Gilberttown, Alabama. And he had this oil, he needed to do something with it. So he was looking for a place where he could process the crude oil that he discovered. And he was looking for a place that had the 3 R's, the roadways, railroads, and rivers. Settled on Tuscaloosa, built a refinery here that opened in 1946 that processed 3,300 barrels of crude oil a day at that time. producing primarily asphalt. Since that time, through a number of expansions, the refinery in Tuscaloosa now runs about 75,000 barrels of crude per day, producing a full range of products from asphalt to jet fuel to gasoline to diesel to mineral spirits, basically anything that you can get out of a barrel of crude oil.
My favorite memory of an Alabama football event is going to the national championship in Miami and getting all of Stacy's family together at one time to surprise her by asking her to marry me. So that was my favorite Alabama athletic moment.
It's just like, with Christmas and Thanksgiving, the Alabama games are just for us the same. I mean, when we were, every Saturday, it did not matter where we were, any part of the country we were in, we always got together and we always figured it out how to watch a game. Sometimes we had to go to a bar because that's the only place that had the games, but we'd go and we'd all pull together.
It was probably a little bit bizarre considering we're such a football and now basketball heavy school, but the 96 gymnastics national championship, which was here at Coleman, and of course the place was packed to the rafters. It was probably the loudest I've ever heard Coleman Coliseum. But we were, I think, going into the last rotation, we were on the floor to wrap it up, and I think we were behind by just, a fraction of a point. And Kim Kelly, who I knew at the time, had been friends with, she wrapped it up on the floor, exercised, and she did her routine to Sweet Home Alabama. And she got a 10. And when she got a 10, that vaulted UA into the lead, and that's where it stood. The place just exploded. And that still sticks out to me. That was one of those goosebumps moments, and gymnastics of all things rather than, the typical Bama sports. But I mean, it spoke to, at that point, I started realizing how much excellence there is just sprinkled all across the university.
It's like looking around our seats and seeing multiple generations of family and friends making memories, and there's just really no place I'd rather be.
There was a 10-year period under my watch where Coca-Cola was not available in Bryant Stadium, and I'll call that the dark years, from 1998 to 2007. Now the facts are that during that 10-year period, the winning percentage for Alabama football was 56%, with 0 SEC titles and 0 national championships. Now you fast forward to the 10 years after the dark years, where Coke was now being poured at Bryant Stadium, and the winning percentage is 90%, with 5 SEC titles and 5 national championships. Now I know that those 10 years post the dark years coincided with Nick Saban arriving in Tuscaloosa. But I think the question still remains, and that is that success due to Coach Saban, or is it due to the fact that Coke was back in the stadium? I'm just saying.
I sit out on that porch and look at that stadium. I told Cordes last night, we were sitting out there, and I said, other people, they'll sit and they'll look at the beach and, oh, this is beautiful. I said, I look at that stadium and think, how awesome. And I just can't believe I'm here, and it's true.
I think what inspired us to get involved with university athletics is we've looked around at what the university's done. The university has done a lot to enhance the community, to enhance the area. They've attracted a lot of students, a lot of people to the university, brought a positive image to the university, created a brand that permeates the United States, permeates the world. You can go anywhere and somebody's going to give you a roll tide if they see something they recognize as Alabama or find out you're from Alabama. And we found in our business, when we tell people where we're located, they immediately associate us with the university. And they associate us with a positive image of the university. So we wanted to give back to the university, and we wanted to help the university to continue to develop that image, but maybe more importantly, to develop its student athletes and its students in a way that they can be the best they can be as they go out from the university and go into careers and into society in general.
our inspiration came from a phone call with Greg Byrne. And I don't know if you've received one of those inspirational phone calls from Greg Byrne, but he's really kind of a hard guy to say no to. And actually, the values of family, service, and community were the values of our founders, Crawford and Caroline Johnson, 120 years ago. So for over 120 years, Coke United has been generously giving to education and community initiatives. And given the fact that Alabama is nationally known or even internationally known for their excellence in academics and athletics, it's a beautiful alignment for us to give, and giving to the Crimson Tide Foundation is very much aligned with our giving standards.
My father, Don Garib, has always been a role model and mentor to me all through growing up and when I went to work for him in 1997. And he was always very much about leadership by example, and you only get into something you only get out of something what you put into it. And I still believe in that to this day. I think the student-athlete experience is wonderful because you get such a wonderful cross-section of different things. You get to see college from different perspectives, learn a great work ethic, learn from some wonderful mentors in the athletic department, have that wonderful network of Alabama family around you to support you when you go out into the world, and all the lessons that made you a successful athlete are going to help you later in life as well. So just work hard and good things will come.
Rarely, if ever, do we get to publicly thank our parents, Denny and Patsy, for a lifetime of love and support and encouragement. As the absolute best role models on the planet, they've inspired each of us to follow in the same path in raising our own children. There's no greater gift than we could have received.
I would say that one of my observations since we've been coming to the games and knowing more about what's going on with Coach Saban and how he embraces these players who may know nothing and come from nothing, and yet he instills confidence in them and discipline and motivation, and it just is amazing to me what that one man can do, and makes a success out of a lot of guys that come and play with him because they learn more than just playing football.
To me, excellence breeds excellence. I think if there's a visible commitment to excellence like UA has done, really the past 30 years, but more so the past 15, it attracts the excellent people. It attracts highly skilled people. It attracts people who want to be highly skilled and excellent. And that's important to keep the pipeline full of very talented, high potential people. I think you have to have that infrastructure in place to attract them. It shows that they don't have to be part of what's already built, but they can be a part of what's going to be built.
Her father, Don, is also a mentor to me, has been for long. We've been married since 2001. I went to work for the company in 2005, and he has definitely been a mentor to me as well. And one of the things that he and his company, through him, have always done is emphasize leadership through service to others. The idea being, if you are any good leader would do so by lifting up others, and that will lift you as well. And I think that that's a good lesson. I mean, it's a simple lesson. But it's a good lesson for anyone to know.
I feel like Alabama shaped me and led me in that direction to where it shaped me into the parent I became, the teacher I became, and the community volunteer. And I'm just so grateful for what they have done for me, and it makes me happy to give back.
Definitely a red letter night for our family. And we're proud to represent our parents and thank them from the bottom of our hearts for their love and support.
See the discipline, the will to want to be the best that they can be, and that Coach Saban does that. He instills that into each player, and we feel like they come out not only better athletes, but better individuals.
We want our employees to strive to be the best that they can be in whatever job that they're doing. Certainly, the university does the same thing. University athletics wants to be number one. The university wants to be number one in everything that they do. But both organizations can only do that if we're doing it the right way.
I've had the privilege of calling on the University of Alabama for 25 years, and I have seen and continue to see great similarities between how these two organizations operate. At Koch United, we are grounded in a set of core values, which are quality, excellence, integrity, and respect. If I click down one beneath that, I think these commonalities will become very clear. For us, quality means we don't take shortcuts. And excellence means we are not interested in second place. Integrity means you do the right thing even when no one's watching. And finally, respect. You respect every individual in the organization and embrace diversity. So I would ask, does that sound familiar?
But we really feel it's important. If we feel like we need to enhance the community in which we live, and we encourage our employees to do that. We encourage them certainly to give, but we encourage them to volunteer, and a number of our employees volunteer in with a lot of those agencies.
It's kind of an abstract thing, and it's something that I felt when I first came down here. I've heard it many times from other kids who've come down here. Kids who are friends of my daughters who ended up not going to Alabama, they still had the same things to say, which the main one was, it feels like home. When you first step on campus, it just feels like home. There's something special you can't describe. And that's still what sticks out to me. It felt like home the first time I visited in 1992. It still feels like home today.
Obviously, I'm all for it. I think I would encourage anyone that has any interest whatsoever to come down here to visit, to see firsthand what this culture and this community is about, experience the games, get involved, and be inspired by it. I think it's very impressive, and no matter what's happened over the years, it's always been an organization that I've been very proud to be associated with, and I think everyone else would find that to be true as well.
You have an incredible opportunity to change children's minds and behavior, and I would just hope that you would take that opportunity and go through with it.
Just do it. Don't wait, just do it. It doesn't matter if you're contributing at a level that's below where you would like to participate. These are situations, these are days where every penny literally counts. And it's so much fun just being part of the team. You're no longer supporting the team with waving banners and buying t-shirts. You're actually becoming a participant in the team. And there's a good feeling that comes along with it, but you can also really be proud of the accomplishments and where the money goes, everything that it can achieve.
Well, I'm going to have to go back to my experiences with my father and with our company, Takala. They were very, very involved with the Boys and Girls Club of America, and that was Taco Bell's main philanthropy as well. And I got to witness firsthand the amazing impact that organization had on these young people's lives. And I see so much of that here, whether it's the student athletes having access to all these wonderful things, whether it's the work that Coach and Ms. Terry do in the community. Just the spirit of giving back is just very inspiring. And I love to support that. And I think that it really starts with the youth. And if you can put people on the right path, you can set them up for success. And I think it's really the most important time in someone's life to have an impact on them.
But if you can't, at the end of the day, look back and say, I did it the right way, then what have you really accomplished? And we want to accomplish things the right way, as does the university and the university athletics programs.